Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe for more content. Remember, you can catch this podcast on the go wherever you get your podcasts. And do consider following me on every social media platform at Hey DJ Show. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm super happy to introduce my next guest, Mike Cerna. Mike, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? Good.
Oh, man, dude.
I'm super pumped to be here.
All right, dude. I'm so happy for you to say that. I was just telling you before we went on that I haven't done this in a hot minute. Some people have been messaging me going like, hey, are you still doing your show? And I'm like, yeah, I just been really busy with school. And I see that you support me too. Like you be liking some of my stuff.
Man.
And I see your Instagram story and I'm like, yo, I definitely had you on my mental list. I was like, I gotta get him on the show. So thank you so much for making the drive, man. I know like you live a little out of the way, but thank you so much for coming. It really means a lot.
Dude, honestly, chills.
Really?
Chills. No, chills for real. Because honestly, like I like you said, I have been supporting the show for a while. Well, not like a while, just kind of when I started seeing you post it. So I'm not gonna be here all fake and be like, yo, I'm like a day one. But like I did see like the change, in your studio and all that stuff, and the table. Like I was telling you before the show started, just the table, how I love it because you made it. But yeah, man. Honestly, the drive wasn't too much crazy. I'm just happy to be here. I'm excited what we're gonna talk about, man. I'm just, however you wanna take the direction.
Oh, dude, we're definitely gonna talk about we can talk about whatever. This chill. Like I am gonna tell you, like I am gonna talk about jiu-jitsu and Twitch. But so real quick before we get started, like because like I said, like if you drink, I drink. I don't let my guest drinks alone. So I mainly want to say this to you, but also to my guests. So for those who don't know, I'm Dominican American. My mom just made me a Mama Juana bottle, and I haven't tried it. I know my mom watches my show, like she's my number one fan, and so like I thought this would be really special. Like I haven't took a sip yet, and you and I are gonna take the first sip of the drink.
Dude, so first guest back and all that. Great, yeah,
yep.
I love it.
Do you do ice in your cocktails?
I'll do some ice. I'll do some ice. It helps.
All right, cool.
We'll do it like old school 1950s.
That's what I'm saying.
Love it. Yeah, but dude, honestly, I can't. I just want to say the fact that I appreciate your show, because the fact I appreciate anybody who's willing to put themselves out there from the beginning, because this stuff is tough. People don't understand because like, oh, who cares about your silly little show? Like only your friends watch it. It's like it's not about that, man. It's about being the modern day philosophers, being the modern day thinkers, and like now we're not like Plato and them who's just like, yo, let's go get drunk and like sit in a room and yell at each other. It's like, hey man, we have podcasts, we have all this creative stuff because technology for real, man, has allowed us to literally do anything. Like before, and like you see movies like Wayne's World,
yes,
right? And they get that van and they have to like go to the public access place and get the equipment. Like now it's just like, bro, let me hit up on Amazon. What's a good mic?
Buy the stuff.
Yeah, what's a good like microphone arm? What's a good camera quality? But like it's just really, I think it's just really cool.
No, dude, and so real quick, cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's good stuff.
Oh man. And dude, it gets better over time. So like so all those herbs that you see in the bottle, once it's empty, you don't take out the herbs. You just go ahead and
refill it.
Yeah, refill it. It's made with like, there's different ways you can do it, but it's mainly made with rum, red wine, and honey. And you let it mixture, and it curates over time, and it just gets better and better. So basically, I get to keep that bottle for the rest of my life.
And that's what I enjoy about liquors like this, is you can drink them straight.
Yeah,
because they're made like that, like with the herbs and the honey. Like it's just like I don't need a chaser.
Honestly, the only like cocktail I really do enjoy is rum and coke, a classic rum and coke. Yeah,
yeah, Jack and Coke, rum and coke.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't get fancy with my drinks and stuff. I'll do every now and then. I do have a sweet tooth, but it's really just rum and coke. But after that, it's just straight. Anything straight.
Yeah, and honestly, with sweets, it can be a little, because I understand that the most like out there like cocktail I've had is called the Grateful Dead, and it's like blue, and it's just like it tastes
blue.
like blueberry.
Anything blue, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like blue Gatorade.
Yeah.
Just drink it. Yeah, no, man, but no, like this is really good stuff. Actually, I never had it, so I'm not too in touch with my Hispanic side, even though I'm actually like from there. Like I was born there. Like I came here. And
man, everybody starts somewhere. Like don't let. I've always had a running joke with my family that I was like the Dominican disgrace, but like as I get older, I'm like finding my way back to it a little bit. Like I'm actually appreciating it more. So like, you know, everybody, it's a journey. It's whatever.
Dude.
Some people start early. Some people start late. Whatever.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not necessarily that like you ignore it. It's just like you come here and then you just kind of are from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, we can get into it, bro, when it comes to like being an immigrant kid.
Oh, hey, I mean, like, I don't push anything on my guests. Whatever you want to talk about is what we're talking about. I wrote down a list just to keep myself on track. But real quick, like, I wanted to go back when you were talking about, like, you know, now with Amazon, you can buy the equipment, like, to start and stuff. So, like I won't say for me specifically, like, I'm not going to humble brag. But what I'll say is one of the greatest advice I was ever given in anything creative was just start. Don't worry about, like, yeah, don't get me wrong, we're all human. Sometimes we go on YouTube now and like some of us remember the early types of YouTube where it's all about like cat videos and stupid stunts and stupid pranks. Like nobody was an actual YouTuber.
The song parody here and there.
Yeah, like nobody was an actual like YouTuber. Somebody made like a funny little video with their friends and it got like millions of views, but they weren't trying to be like YouTubers.
Yeah.
Now I do see it, like some people get discouraged where it's like, oh, you don't have the fancy set, you don't have the best tech and all that stuff. But like those people, I'm not knocking them, more power to them, but a lot of people don't remember their day ones. Their day ones, they were probably trash. They probably had like crappy equipment and stuff like that. Yeah. Nowadays, some people, you know, they get endorsed and they go ahead and in their day ones, they start with the better equipment and stuff. But dude, with people who watch this and they're like, wow, this looks legit. Dude, these are cheap ass microphones that I got on Amazon. I did splurge on the boom arms.
The boom arms are nice. I was gonna say that really.
But I had the cheap ones. Like I have the $50 cheap ones where it comes with the microphones, the cheap boom arms and stuff to help you get started. Yeah. Get started, and then later you start to see the progression. How you're telling me about the table. The greatest advice I was ever given was, besides getting started, was a guy told me, hey, you need a better table. And it correlates with getting started, because when I got started, I didn't think about the table. Yeah. But I said, oh, give me a fair criticism. He was like, you need a better table. Yeah. He advised me to make one. And at first I didn't take his advice. I was like, oh man, I don't have the tools. Yeah. So I just bought one. But then over time I was like, he's right. I do need to make a table.
Yes. And you know what's crazy? Because one of my friends who like streams too, she made her desk. She made her desk, and like it's a way nicer desk than anything you can buy, because when you make your thing, like this is custom.
You know what you need.
Exactly, dude. And it's just incredible because it's like you said, like you can make the arm placements for where you want it, you know, because there's some tables that are like made for a studio, but like you're like, oh man, like this is not big enough for where the wires need to be set up and all that. But like, you know, and it's funny, I love that you said that. I really do, because that's definitely the biggest issue. And I think even before, like now, because we got lucky to where YouTube now, Twitch, TikTok, it can be a job. Mm-hmm. It can be a job, and you don't need millions of views, like you can literally get like 50K likes. Mm-hmm. You're influencing 50K people. That's 50K people that can be advertised. You get sponsorships and whatever. Yeah. So I love that you said that just get started, because when people think quality over quantity, right? Mm-hmm. And people think quality and they're like, okay, I need quality gear, quality studio time. Is like, no, the quality is what you give into it.
Is what you need.
Exactly.
Because I did not know how to set up a room with lights, with the microphones. I didn't know how to do basic editing, but I had to start somewhere. And thank God for YouTube, because there's so many tutorials. Yeah. And I'm not, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not tech savvy. Like I really am not. But if you sit down and watch a tutorial, and you're going to watch the same tutorial like 5-10 times. I did. I rewind so many times, and then I was like, okay, I think I got it. And then I got started. There are some episodes I fucked up on the audio. Yeah. And it hurt my soul, and
Yeah.
it hurt me more to like text the person and be like, hey, I'm gonna air the episode, but like the audio is bad. I'll try to have you back on, but man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Now I don't drop the ball anymore. Why? Because now I do sound checks. Before I didn't.
Yeah, you're just rolling.
Yeah, maybe if I did this live, it'd be different, but I didn't, and I messed up, and so now I know, like, okay, you gotta get started. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. That's another great advice. Actually look forward to making a mistake, because when you make a mistake, it's a tangible fix. Now you know what to fix. Now you have a problem that you can go up to somebody who probably knows more than you and be like, hey, I'm having trouble with A. I need it to be like B.
Yeah.
Can you help me out?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I always say that I'm like the world's worst Twitch streamer. Because I am. Like, I really am. No, and I don't mean it like in the way that like I'm not interesting, because like I do have my following, and shout out to the people that follow me. But like when it comes to like tech, like you said, like I don't have, dude, I got like the Amazon pack that came with like the mic and the arm, and it's not even like nice like this one. Mine looks like the old school radio ones, like the metal ones.
Oh yes, I have that. It's in the closet.
Yeah, like yeah, the ones that like creak every time you move them. Like I have that one.
That's why it's fledged.
And I got a like $100 Behringer like little soundboard that plugs into my laptop. I don't even have like a full tower set up for my.
Oh, so you're XLR?
Yeah, I'm XLR. Everything.
These are USB. I need to upgrade to XLR.
I can help you with that if you want to talk later.
Now I know, but yeah, I'll definitely take your help. I was so timid on XLR, or like just terrified, that I went ahead and I saw the USB was user friendly, and especially if you're not tech savvy, so I went with USB. It's plug and play.
Well,
but now I know, so now I'm ready for XLR.
And it's honestly more simple, because you get like a soundboard that has like 3-4 inputs. You have like 4 guests probably here at a time, so I'm gonna assume
I'm gonna upgrade to that. So far the most I've had is 2 other guests and me, so 3.
So 3, but yeah. I mean I would eventually get the 4th just in case.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon
invest. You might want to look into some of that, and like it's honestly a converter. Like you plug in a converter that goes USB literally into your Mac, and it's beautiful, because that's the one thing I am about, because I don't have like the best quality camera, but like my audio. And it's always, it's funny, because when you were talking about you were airing the episode and you were telling your guests like, oh, the audio's kind of shitty. Dude, it's always so embarrassing when you have like, you're live, I'm playing a game, and then people are like, the game's louder than you. And I'm just like, okay, hold on, guys. I'm stupid. Like I always, it's hilarious. But yeah, man, doing it live, man, I think you should go for that too.
I definitely will. Unfortunately, not anytime soon. But it is a goal, and I'm like every now and then creeping towards it, but not right now.
Yeah, because I stream, and I told them like, oh man, I got invited to this podcast. I'm gonna get interviewed, and they were like, oh, what time is it gonna be on? And I was like, it's not live. Sorry.
There's definitely pros and cons. Like, don't get me wrong. Eventually I'm definitely going to do live for sure, but one of my favorite things about it not being live is I like a little bit of the build up, because after this I go ahead and edit, and I'm like posting like, I always try to post motivational things about the grind, like that's like my brand, like grind,
dude. That's why I'm saying like I know about the table, because I see your stuff sometimes, and it's funny because you don't like that. Then that's the whole point of being an influencer, right? Yeah. That you're influencing people, because you like low key. Like I see your stuff and I'm like, dude, DJ's grinding on his show. I need to grind on my Twitch.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, bro, like I need to step up on it sometimes. So like, yeah, man, you honestly don't understand like the actual influence and power you already have through this.
Oh show. Man, dude, like. Appreciate that I'm not just saying, that really means a lot to me, man.
Dude, I'm not just saying it, because like I'm telling you, like when you were like, bro, come through, I was like, dude, this is like the first like legit like show collab where I'm just like, man, like I'm gonna be like telling people like, yo, go check this out on YouTube.
I was recently, before obviously having you on, I was a friend on a friend's podcast who I had on the show, who I messed up on their audio that I will have them back, and we're gonna have a better episode. But one, like 2 things real quick. One, I don't delete those episodes where I messed up for one reason only, because I know I'm not gonna stop this. Like the only way I'm gonna stop this is if I die. Yeah. Like I'm still in school, and sometimes it gets busy, and I have to put a pause. I don't stop. I just put a pause, and I pick it right back up. Yeah. But I want people, like say I hit 1,000 episodes. and my studio is even better. I want people to look back at the times I sucked, because I think that's the thing that people don't realize is people watch these YouTubers and influencers and they're like, man, they have all this money, they have all this set, they're great. How can I compete? Dude, some people started with nothing. Don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
Just go to your bedroom and do a video.
And honestly, those guys are the more enjoyable ones to watch because they don't have all the crap that like you need to like add effects and stuff. You gotta be witty and entertaining with just you.
It's
and that's also what I liked about Twitch streaming, because I've always wanted to be a radio celebrity. Always, my whole life. I used to always picture myself like, hey, well, guys, welcome to 96.89, like WPV. Like I always pictured that, and that's why I kind of love Twitch streaming, because it's kind of bringing that back. Because a lot of people, when they watch your stream, they do what they lurk. They're not even watching you; they're just listening to you. So you gotta be talking. Like sometimes, man, like I play Fortnite. Embarrassing to admit.
Okay.
It's
fun.
It's great. I got into it because I actually played it with people who had fun with it. You know, I wasn't playing with people who were trying to win at it.
Yeah.
You know, the people who are always just like,
I use it.
We gotta get the dubs. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was playing with people who were like, oh, let's get in this car and drive around and do silly things, and if we win, we win.
I love that. I need to play with you sometimes. But
dude,
like,
if you play.
Yeah,
you know my usernames and everything, Mike.
Okay, so real quick, go ahead. So we're gonna plug that in the end too. But go ahead and tell people where they can follow you.
Yes, we've been talking for like 15 minutes.
I know we're already like 15 minutes in, and I meant to like say it like
real quick. Yeah. So
so Mike's Cerna, what can people follow
Perchik,
you?
Sorry,
what's up?
Mike Perchik.
Perchik.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
That's all good. No worries.
What's Cerna then?
No, it's all good. Mike Perchik. I am a Twitch streamer, musician, rock climber, martial artist. Coming at you. Did I say musician? I said musician.
You said musician.
Yeah, and I just some guy who enjoys life and is here to entertain you and make you question your existence. That's all I do. You know,
yeah.
I'm not here to harm people. I'm just here to make you feel good about it. You know, like life is shitty enough as we live it. We don't need to make it any harder. You 100%. Know, and if I can be here, because I've always been the funny friend in the group, I guess.
Same. Yeah.
And it's just like, man, like if I can make people laugh or just. You know, I always had that thing where I've been able to just easily communicate or say things. And it's just like, man, I don't get it because I'm shy. I'm very shy. But, like, people are just like, hey, man, you remember when I was in a band? And that's how we met.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't want to sing.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to sing. You remember I was a singer.
Yeah. And like, you honestly have a good singing voice.
I appreciate that. I still don't like my voice, but I appreciate it.
Man, you have that like classic where you're not like an opera singer or anything, but you're like this classic like Johnny Cash, the dude from shit, it's bothering me. The National.
Appreciate that. We were gonna open for them.
Are you really?
I never told you that story.
No.
So we were in Canvas.
Yeah.
And Steven, Sam, and I were unloading the stuff, and I was dating this girl back at the time. She was older than me. I was 18. This is a little bit of an illegal story, kind of. But
no, you were 18.
Yeah, I was 18. And she was 21, 22.
Oh, man, you made it sound like she was like 30 or 40.
No. But she was old enough to drink.
Oh, who cares?
Right? And we were playing at this venue. I'm not gonna say the name because in case we go back to the venue, you know, because I do want to. I still am working on other music endeavors that I would like to talk about on later that I'm gonna shout out. But so we were just starting to date, and like she wanted to be cool with me, so she got me a beer. And at this venue, you gotta have like a wristband that says you can drink. And I didn't have the wristband. I'm walking around with this beer.
Oh, I remember this because Steven was so pissed off. Yeah, I remember.
And rightfully so, dude. We were going to open for the National.
Yeah.
Because what happened is that when we were playing our set on the last, after the last song, people were cheering for an encore. Legit. Not making this up, not trying to be all like humble bragging. But people had lighters out asking for an encore. We play an encore. While we're playing the encore, the promoter walked out. And he watched us, and he was like telling people to tell us that like he was gonna set us up to open for the National, which was gonna be huge.
Damn.
And then that happened. I got caught with the beer, and I fumbled it, and that's why we're not famous rock stars right now.
Oh man, what a story,
Dude. No,
But, like,
that's like I should commit seppuku for that because like it was over a girl that I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
Yeah. Like she was just like trying to be cool, you know, like oh my boyfriend's a rock star, and I did get a little pissed because what happened in rock and roll?
Yeah.
Like John Lennon and Paul McCartney were getting fucked up at 16 in these
That's
clubs.
what I'm saying.
Man.
It's like, all right, come on, man.
And it's just like, okay, I'm 18, like just cut me a break, dude. I'm a musician. Like you saw me play, bro. But,
yeah.
oh man, that's kind of how the downfall with the band started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from then on, you know, Sam had to go to college, and then time.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Damn. Yeah. I remember that, but I didn't know it was that moment. But now it all makes sense. It's coming.
Yeah,
back
no,
to me.
it was that. And it was crazy because we peaked and fell in one night.
Whoa.
But if you still want to check out the Canvas songs, I did talk to Eddie.
Yeah.
And I commissioned them and he finished them for me. And
He
I have
did?
them out, yeah. I have them out on SoundCloud.
Like, okay, cool, but like, is there any way you can put that like on Apple Music and Spotify?
I could
Specifically
try.
Apple
I could
Music.
try. But right now it's on SoundCloud. I haven't really done anything on that front. I just wanted because the thing with
I'll
that,
definitely have the link down.
yeah,
below.
no worries. I
But,
mean,
like,
that
where
there's so
where
much
can people
stuff.
listen to the songs still?
Yeah, no, but the thing with that is that
Wait, real quick, where can people hear the sound?
SoundCloud at / Mike Perchik. So SoundCloud.com / Mike Perchik. MikePerchik.
Okay, I'll definitely have a link. I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah, no, but that's with those songs, I needed to release them, and I paid for that and everything. Like I didn't ask the rest of the band, and I wouldn't ask them anything now. And you know, if anything comes with that, like they will get like whatever they get from that. But it was just we put so much effort into recording those songs. We were literally in a closet, like some dude's closet, sweating, like hot, like paying money and like hours, unbelievable. And it was like, bro, these songs need to be heard.
No, there's that one song where you sing that I forgot what's the title of it. It was literally my favorite song, and because it was just so chill. So
probably Euphoria. Everybody like Euphoria.
It's probably that one.
Because that's the one where everybody got the lighters out all the time, man. We even have like some old videos from playing at some venues, and people have like their phones.
Dude, after this, we'll definitely listen to one just so I can be like, that was it.
Dude, yeah, we'll listen to all of them. But yeah, man, like all that stuff, like it was so much hard work put in from everyone, especially like, you know. It goes really unspoken how much more work and appreciation we should have given to both Steven and Eric, because at that moment Sam and I were still teenagers. Steven and Eric were like 23, 25.
Yeah,
they were picking us up, they were driving us around, you know, sometimes they would spot us with food, and like, bro, Steven, Eric never asked me once for gas money or anything like that, you know, like those guys really were about the band.
Yeah,
and that's also why, like, after all these years, I'm like, man, like, I can't believe I fucked it up.
Damn.
Because, like, I really did. Dude, like, we could have gone on tour or something. Like, at least.
You would have opened for the National. That's not nothing. That's something.
That's the National, dude. Yeah. And I remember being like, the National, it must not be that big. Because I don't know. But then I looked them up and I was like, oh, yeah, that's the National.
That's one of my best friend's favorite bands. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, dude. And it's funny because, like, to think about it now and being it, like, felt like just yesterday. And it's like, man, it's really like we were there, you know. And but I don't want to talk about too much about like the
all right, real quick,
right?
Like, before we move on to another topic, would you like something else?
Yeah, man, I can have more of the same or some whiskey, whatever you want to.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Table is definitely yours. But
like what you're gonna go with the same? I'll go with the same, man. Whatever you're feeling, yeah. This was really good, actually. I love stuff like this. Like I said, man, when you can find stuff that's like, you don't need a chaser for it. Oh, beautiful. Like that's when you start really knowing that you enjoy liquor. When you're just like, I don't need a chaser.
Absolutely.
Just give me some ice, a nice glass, a suit, and a cigar.
One day when I definitely I do like a cigar occasionally. Yeah. I definitely will one day. All right, so Mike, So speaking of the past, and
Well,
when you were 18, you were, man, I actually didn't know you were that young, but now it all makes sense.
dude, I look worn and torn. People now are like, "You're like 30 something." I'm like, "I'm 26." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, really?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah."
I'm 30, and I get like my the semester I was in, I had a girl who was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "How old do you think I am?" She was like, 24, 25. And
Yeah,
I was like,
you
"Hey,
look 25.
I
They're
appreciate
like,
that." And
yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm 30." And they're like, "What?" And it's like, "You look good for a 30-year-old." I'm like, "Hey,
Hey,
awesome. You want to give
you
me your
look good
number?"
even
I'm like,
beforehand.
so Mike, when I met you, uh uh you were 18, you were young, you were a musician, you didn't do martial arts.
No.
And now, like, we're friends on Instagram and on Facebook, but I started seeing it more on Instagram. Dude, you would take pictures, you go to Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so one day you started. Here's the thing about me, everybody knows this, those who know me, I love martial arts. Anything
Mm,
about martial arts, I love it. Movies, watching it, UFC, I love it.
mm.
And besides that, I love a good origin story. So, dude, tell me how
It came out of nowhere.
I want to know everything, man. I want you to talk my ear off. What I want to know, when you were laying in bed when you weren't thinking about martial arts, and then like the very next day where you're like, I'm gonna do this. So
Uh,
walk me through it.
okay, well, you know, it's funny because if you know, since you know me from when I was 18, I was always very like artsy, fartsy, philosopher, sad at the world, Nietzsche, God is dead, blah 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 blah. Like I've always been very like I would call myself a deep thinker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in other words, I'm just an idiot. But no, so I've always been into the idea of fighting. I was never a fighter as a kid. I'm a bitch. I'm a pussy. I'm not gonna lie. Like straight up words, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would the idea of pain. Not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not a fan. I used to skateboard. I only learned how to ollie because that's all I could fucking brave myself to do. So, um, but I always liked anime,
Mm-hmm.
and I always liked Karate Kid. I always liked Bloodsport, like movies like that. I always liked the idea of a hero, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So Batman, you know, and
Number
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Number one.
And like Dragon Ball, Goku, all that stuff, you know. And like my whole life, I wanted my parents to just be like, "Go do this," and like, cause you know, when you're a kid, I never, at least me personally, being the youngest and stuff, I never really took too
Are
much
you the youngest in
responsibility.
your family?
I am, yeah,
Okay,
I'm the
same,
youngest.
same. Okay.
I'm the youngest
How
of
many
three
siblings you
boys.
got?
Yeah,
How many?
3 boys, 3 men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I, like, I got one older brother who lives here, but then I have um two sisters and a brother in New York,
All older.
all older.
Yeah,
I'm the
no. So
baby.
you're the baby,
I'm
yeah,
the baby.
and you know what it's like being the baby with your mom and all that stuff. So I was always very cuddled and very sheltered, you know. And one day, so I was in so after the band broke up.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a really bad spot
Mm-hmm.
because the band music is my life. Like School of Rock is my Bible. You know, like Jack Black taught me everything I needed to know, my attitude even. And so I was in a really bad spot. I gained a lot of weight. I was eating a lot. I was doing a lot of unhealthy habits. Definitely drinking a lot, you know. And one day, and I was at this. I used to work at one of these gas stations. This big name, so I'm not gonna say which one just in case. But I was working at one of those, and I had no life, man. I was the second shift manager. I would work from like 1 to 11, and then on certain days after I got off, I would come back at 5 in the morning, like from
Oof.
11 to 5 in the morning, and I'd have to be there at 5. It's not like I'd wake up at 5. So I was just really depressed, man. I was like fat. I was like 260, 270. Oh shoot,
You're
I was
good.
270, and one day I just
put it like
yeah,
in
yeah.
front
I'll just
of you.
back it up a little bit. Yeah. There we
Like,
go.
can you hear yourself just
Yeah,
fine?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
So I just didn't want to like I don't know, I felt like I was wasting away in a sense, and it was 2018. 2 years. The band broke up 2 years ago. Everything's kind of shitty, but what I had started doing is I started running. My brother, he's a triathlete. he's been running our whole lives. I used to run before with him, and like I kind of stopped because of music, and I like to smoke cigarettes and all this stuff, so I didn't run a lot. So I started running, and I did a couple races, a couple 5Ks, but I was not like I was still very lonely, you know, because the point about being in a band is that I have brothers and I have my family and I'm very close to them, but like it's a different type of family. It's the family where I go tour, where these guys see me in that green room, they see that 18-year-old kid who's drinking a beer backstage and shooting type of deal. And I wanted that kind of camaraderie, like being in a team. So 2018 comes and a little show called Cobra Kai comes out. And this was back when it was on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
like I still pay premium YouTube from that.
You? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
like because I got premium YouTube only to watch Cobra Kai because, oh man, I'm gonna go on another tangent, a little side story.
No, do it.
Cobra Kai started, I believe, because I don't know if you've seen the show How I Met Your Mother. You know the character Barney Stinson.
Yeah.
He always said that Johnny Lawrence was the Karate Kid, that he was the real like hero, and that's how the Cobra Kai the first season starts. Is Johnny's the one who's like seen as the hero. And I was just kind of like, when I was 16, I was really into that whole How I Met Your Mother show. And I've seen that since like I was 16 in 2014. Then 4 years later, 2018, this is happening. My mind's just going off on all these connections because I'm also very much about like spiritual stuff, the moon and this and that. I'm not a crystal chick either, but there's stuff that's like, come on,
no,
like
our ancestors crazy. But the sun and moon, I'm good.
No, like look, my ancestors sacrificed people for the sun to come up. Okay, like I believe in that somehow, right? But so the show comes out, and the first season, if you haven't seen it, spoilers ahead, but if you have, which you know you should,
it's been out for a while. Yeah,
like you should. It's 5 years almost. The tournament arc, you know, Miguel is a bullied kid. His name's Miguel. My name's Mike. Miguel in Spanish. You know, very, very connecting already. And I saw just the tournament arc, and I was just like, bro, I want to do that. And I wasn't necessarily thinking karate. You know, I was just like, I want to have a gi. I want to be a good fighter. I want to have my drive. I want to have like a sensei, like somebody who takes me under their wing and shows me what they know and believes in me to be a champ. And I had this friend from high school who his whole life he's been training martial arts, and not like too seriously because like, you know, he'd be like a black belt in something by now, but he's just always been like everywhere, which is cool still regardless. You know, he was always very into the martial arts, fighting circles, communities. So I hit him up and I'm like, hey man, you train martial arts, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, cool, what do you train? He's like, jiu-jitsu. I'm like, that sounds cool. Where? Oh, well, you know, like over in this area, like back where this gym is. I'm like, oh yeah. I used to drive there by all the time. Yeah. So like, can I sign up? And he's like, yeah, like sure, like yeah, come through. Like Tuesdays, like we have starter classes, and yeah, man. So why are you interested? Yeah, like well, good. I was like, have you heard about Cobra Kai? And he just goes,
get out my face.
Yeah, he goes like dot. And he's like, hey, jiu-jitsu is not what you think. You're not gonna be throwing kicks. It's not like flashy and on this and that and that. And I'm like, can I wear a gi?
I just need a gi.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you get a gi. I was like, okay, I'll see you on Tuesday, 5:30. Like I'm there, and I landed at my place now, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and rock and roll history since then, man. I got addicted, and you know,
you're wearing the shirt, man.
Repping it. Because I just loved it. And honestly, you've seen Naruto and stuff. Like when you're rolling, it feels like that. Like every time I'm rolling with someone, I'm like fire style, you know?
Yeah.
Like it really does feel. And I got addicted. Like it's funny because when I started, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna get addicted."
People don't. That's the thing. Like I'm gonna tell you this right now, watchers and listeners. You don't do martial arts like, especially jiu-jitsu. I will say, like, I'm a taekwondo dude. Like, I love taekwondo, but jiu-jitsu is a drug, and it's a good drug.
Yeah.
It's one of the best drugs out there. When you do it, you don't do it casually. You don't go like, oh yeah, you know, like I just do it like, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays and stuff. When you do it for Tuesdays and Thursdays. But then you're like, I need my fix.
Dude,
it follows you in a good way. It's a good drug.
I was late to this podcast because I was training. I was late to this podcast.
No one's gonna know. They're gonna watch it like at 2 p.m.
Yeah,
They'll
but
be
still,
like,
like for the recording, I was late because I was
'Cause
training.
It is 9:55.
Yeah, I got done like at 7, so like
PM.
7:45. But what I was saying with that is just people were saying, yeah, you're gonna get addicted, and I was like, fuck you, like addicted to what, man? I'm lazy. Like I gotta like it, and I'll come. But it's true because then what happened is that like a month in, I got my first stripe, and you know,
and it felt good. You're like, ooh.
not even
Really?
I never been much one for stripes. You know, and not to like humble brag or anything. You can go to my gym and ask. Like I remember, like one day I just looked down, I had a purple belt on. You know,
So, I was gonna ask, like, so you're a purple belt?
I am. Yeah, I'm a 4-year student under Eddie Camden, and
Dude, you're almost there.
yeah, and I got a purple belt in August. So I'm a 3-month-old purple belt.
Hell yeah!
I got it in
Hey,
4
fist
years.
bump.
I appreciate that.
Right.
I got it in 4 years, which is pretty quick.
Yeah, you've been grinding. Like you post almost like I can't remember when you don't post.
I post twice a day on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny. Like honestly, earlier today, I saw that you went to Gracie's in the like early afternoon, and I was like, he goes twice a day? Because you told me, hey, I go at 7:30. Can I come at 8:30? And I said fine. So when I saw that earlier afternoon, I was like, you go twice a day?
Yeah,
like, that's awesome.
No,
like more power to you.
I love it, and that's the thing. I mean, like I said, it's always funny when you know something like jiu-jitsu, because I actually recently got in a fight even that I had to use jiu-jitsu on,
like an actual fight.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I got a Halloween party.
Oh
yeah.
You're just as a Joker too.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm beating up people dressed as a clown, right? But no, so like I don't like to really brag much about my skill, because like there's guys who come in, they're like 11-year wrestlers, and then I roll with them 4 years in jiu-jitsu. And obviously, like if we were playing their game in wrestling and I was wrestling, they would tear me up.
Yeah,
but now I can choke them.
Exactly. Wrestling is a sport. There are a lot of rules. With jiu-jitsu, there are rules, but not as much as wrestling. And jiu-jitsu, you're going for an obvious submission. You're not going for a point.
Well, the thing about wrestling, and you know, if
like,
you
no knock to wrestlers. I respect
no,
wrestlers. I'm gonna have a wrestler on my
big
show.
respect to wrestlers, because the wrestlers, like,
wrestling is like the first jiu-jitsu.
Wrestling is the father of grappling.
Yes,
wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling is the great, like, it's, oops, I keep doing that. It's a great grandfather, like, of everything. Like if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have anything. And the thing about wrestlers is that it is a legit self-defense. The thing is that because for so long it's been an Olympic sport, it's been turned and mutated to something that's just competitive.
Yeah,
right? Because a wrestler, he'll pin you down, but you know, if you're aggressive, you have a knife on you, the wrestler's gonna get stabbed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They don't know any knife disarmaments. They don't know. They know to pin a guy.
Yeah,
you know, the guy has a gun. He's gonna shoot you. And I'm not saying if you know jiu-jitsu, you're
like
bulletproof.
You're golden. You just increase your chances.
Exactly. They always say there's no real defense to gun fu.
No,
there's no real.
There's no.
But there's stuff that you can do in certain life and death situations where, you know, the line is so thin where it's either like, okay, I can break this guy gun or just die either way.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But my point back, you know, talking to wrestling is just that when the way they pick up jiu-jitsu is so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really fast. But what I was saying is just like, you know, after 4 years really grinding, you see what they say, you know, because they tell you like, man, it's not the prodigies that are gonna be good, it's the people who don't stop coming.
Yeah,
because there's guys who like started with me who were prodigies, man, like 4-stripe white belts tapping like 2-stripe blue belts, like fucking them up, all this and that. I don't see those guys at my gym, man.
Yeah,
you know, they stop coming.
Honestly, and that, so I've heard this thing where like a summarized version of jiu-jitsu is that it teaches men they're not as strong as they think they are,
Mm-hmm.
and it teaches women they're stronger than they realize.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so fucking true. Now the thing is, like, kind of like that what you just mentioned about like the 2 stripes white belt, and you know, some people do have a natural talent.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not a perfect system, but unfortunately there are people who are like, man, I'm really good at this as a white belt, and then they stop going because they're like, oh, I'm doing things I naturally know, and then they feel no need to grind and stuff. Yeah. But like, you're right, it's the people who keep grinding and stuff, because in a way, though you're a purple belt, I'm willing to bet, correct me if I'm wrong, you go in there and there are days where you're like, I ain't shit. Like that's why
Dude,
I'm here.
honestly, that's been every day.
There you
Every
go.
day. Because here's the thing, like, and I love this because this is probably every Gracie school I think has this mat, but the welcoming mat, when you walk in, it says leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And I love that because I've always been someone with a big ego,
Mhm.
like, especially when you're in a band and stuff and you're singing and all, like, dude, like, there were times where I got recognized at parties. They were like,
Nice.
oh, you're that guy that played at the masquerade.
And it
yeah."
does feel good.
And you're just like, yeah. And it's like cute, like girls. They're like, oh my God. And you're just like, yeah, like I'm that guy.
Oh yeah, it's not a big.
And like that's cool, but that always
You want
like
an autograph?
yeah, like that's always kind of fed to my ego.
Yeah,
And the good thing about jiu-jitsu is how it humbled me.
Yes.
Because like even among some friends, like for some reason they just thought I could fight.
Mhm.
Like I don't know what it is, if I gave up like a threatening vibe or anything at every time I know, but they were just always like, oh, we like assumed you were like tough, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm a teddy bear. But now that I know jiu-jitsu, and it's getting known because like now everybody and their mother does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Like more people do jiu-jitsu than like taekwondo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I will like. Again, I'm a taekwondo dude. I will put my ego aside, and I will say to people that like, okay, there's no such like people like I used to get this like, oh, what's the best martial arts in the world? Okay, first off, there's no such thing, because if there was a such thing as the best martial art, it's like saying what's the best weapon out there in the world. No, there's no such thing. However, if we want to change up the question of which one's a little bit more practical, yes, jiu-jitsu and judo, I would argue, are like the top tier, like it definitely a form of grappling. And what's his name? I'm gonna butcher it, and I should have done my research. I knew his name. Carlos Machado, I think.
Yeah, Carlos Machado.
Yeah. I love this quote. He was like, because he was kind of asked the same thing. He was like, one way or another, this fight's going to go down to the ground, and then you're in my world.
Yeah.
For the ground is the ocean, and I am the shark. And the way I see it, not a lot of people know how to swim.
Yeah.
I love that quote. I would get that tattooed on my back if I could, but because it is true. One way or another, a street fight's going to go down to the ground, and a jiu-jitsu person, that's where his elements at. However, it's still not perfect because there are just a bevy of different factors that goes into a fight. And I get told all the time, like, just a bunch of bros. It's like, oh, what would you do if I did this? What would you do if somebody did this? It's like, dude, there are so many freaking factors that goes into like a street fight. Like now, if you were talking to me about sport, we can kind of talk about it, but
because when it's sports and it's martial arts versus martial arts, it's like dancing.
Yeah.
But on the street, it's like somebody's dancing at like break dancing at you, and salsa. Like you're gonna start shimming, and they're gonna be like, it's a whole different thing.
And people think like, oh, with martial arts, like it's like in movies. Listen, martial art movies, though I love them, they're just porn. That's yes, all it is. That's what I tell people. Yes. There are porn for martial arts. It's cool to watch the hero not get hit and be able to, like, with all his endurance and stuff. But that doesn't happen in real life. No, it doesn't. And it's good to separate, the fantasy from reality, because the truth is, all it takes is one good hit. You could know so much. You could be like a black belt in a bunch of martial art. If somebody just ugly slams you down to the concrete, you can get knocked out, and then that's it. Like, it didn't matter what you had under your belt. That's it. Oh, I know how to break fall. That didn't matter because your head hit the concrete like that.
Yeah, you're dead. Well, and that's why I love the owner of my gym. He's actually Sifu. We call him Sifu Eddie because
Have you played the video game Sifu?
I have not, but we'll check it out.
It's a game.
But he's his actual like main martial art is Wing Chun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like when he does his fighting stance, he's like this. Like he does like Wing Chun stuff. And he, like, we know stand up. Like the thing about I love Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is that we're not a sports academy. I don't walk in there and they're not teaching me how to get medals. They're teaching me like, hey man, if you're in the street in a life and death situation, we're gonna teach you how to control it or end it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And end it like what people think it means, because in a life and death situation, it really is life and death. Mm-hmm. It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that in my pocket I know how to choke someone.
Exactly.
Out.
It's like, again, you increase your chances.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's 100%, but obviously you feel comfortable. Like right now, if I were to pull out a knife, though it's a scary situation, you're more comfortable than the average guy.
I'd be more comfortable, but still I'd throw something. You know what I mean? I'd be like, whoa, like,
yeah, exactly.
Manage the distance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the point. Is you're a little bit more comfortable because now you're like, okay, if it comes at me this way, I can do A, B, or C. If he comes here, I can do D, E, F. But it's like, again, there's just so many different factors that goes in, but you're going to be more comfortable than the average guy.
Yeah, and that's the other thing of why I like Gracie affiliated academies. Because I mean, if you talk about Mike Academy in specific, it's very unique for what it is as a Gracie unique academy. But the thing about the Gracie program is that they have combatives, which is made for street fighting, for people who are literally have no training and are fighting people with literally no other training.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the point of the combatives program. Once you move forward, you go into the master cycle program once you get your blue belt and all that. And that's where, like, as the curriculum goes on, you learn gun disarmament, stick disarmament, knife disarmament, which I love. Because, like, yeah, man, it's cool to know spider guard and all this cool on how to get points. But, bro, if somebody pulls a knife on me and I can take it away from him and stab him back, I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
Then I don't care. Because, and you know what's funny? Finishing now my origin story. I did do a competition my first 8 months. I got 3rd place.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, but I wasn't the champ, you know. But I felt good enough to where I was just like, man, and I was like a 2-3 stripe white belt. It was fine, you know. And that's when I realized that my journey, my way to go about my philosophy of jiu-jitsu, of martial arts, is not about the fame, because that's what the sports comes for. Like, people just want to fucking go on Instagram and be like, yo, check out my Naga gold medal, and it's like, nah, bro. Like, you know what I'm more proud about? I was at a Halloween party dancing with some girl. Her ex comes. He's drunk. You know, he's yelling some stuff. My training kicks in. You know, he's yelling at, because I'm dancing with her, you know. He pushes me, so now I'm facing him. And one thing they teach us is keep your hands up, you know, just in case. So I'm just like, hey, man, like, you don't know what you're getting into. That pissed him off, you know, because this guy was like this much taller than me.
Yeah.
I'm 5'7". You know, he's at least like 5'9", 5'10". And like, he's like, here, and I'm just like, hey, man, you're like, you don't know what you're going to get into. Like, just walk away. Like, we're having a good time. He didn't say anything. He swung. I go like this. He hits me right here. I wrapped his arm.
Oof.
And then I went for like a tight clinch because this guy was skinny. People don't realize this about skinny guys, man. When they squirm, like, it's hard. No matter how much you're squishing them, if they're squirming, they're gonna get out.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to control this guy, and my clown suit is riding up my heels, and I'm slipping.
For people who don't know, I said he went as the Joker. He went as the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Yeah. So it, like, just imagine that, and his costume was on point. So imagine Joaquin Phoenix just laying out some dude. All right, continue. I just had to give people context.
You could even fucking like put a picture up.
I probably will. I don't know how, but I probably will.
I'll send it. I'll send you. I have a few, but so like, he comes, I take him down, and I got roasted by everybody in my academy for this, but I pulled guard. If you don't know what pull guard is, that you bring the guy, you pull him to on top of you to your back, which you shouldn't do in any fight.
I want to disagree with you. But you know more jiu-jitsu than me. The only reason why I'm going to come back is you shouldn't do it if you're not as skilled. But you're a purple belt.
Yes, but the thing too is that, like,
and he was drunk.
For example, in my gym, I'm known for my guard.
Okay. Brown
belts don't pass my guard. You know?
Yeah.
And not to be, again, humble brag or anything. Talking facts, and like, you can call my gym.
Yeah.
From the time I was like a 3-stripe blue belt, nobody was passing my guard.
Good.
So,
but see, that's why, like, I'm not saying that for anybody. I'm saying that for you. Like, that you're comfortable pulling somebody.
Right. So
guard.
That's why I did it. And,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Not a lot of people are comfortable with
yes.
that. So I wouldn't recommend, because majority people who are comfortable with guard, it's sports guard. They would have gone like spider guard or some shit. As soon as the guy got on me and I felt one of my hooks on his knee, one of my feet like touch his knee, I flipped him.
Nice.
I wasn't playing it. I got for a sweep. He trapped my leg, and I was able to get out of it. And ironically enough, and people don't believe me, but I went for an Ezekiel choke on him because I was wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And I don't get much into fights. I don't, because people are like, oh, didn't you want to slap him or something? It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm at a party having fun. I'm a chill dude. Like,
yeah,
this is an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Even though I love to train, I don't want to do it on my free time.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is a legit inconvenience because I'm here at a party, like, trying to meet people, dance with girls, all this. This dude comes and ruins it. So I went for the Ezekiel, and these guys watch a little UFC. You can tell because like he trapped my leg, so I was like, this guy watches some UFC. And when I went for the Ezekiel, he went for what we call the Brazilian tap, where he like slapped me, but he was tapping, you know. And so I let it go, and he got up, he ran away. Luckily, he didn't come back with a gun.
Yeah.
He peeled out, and the party continued. But you know, like that's when I was like, damn, I am glad I never stopped. You know, because there have been moments where you stop going and you're like, well, I'm not even that good.
Yeah, you definitely. Even though we just talked about that, it's addicting. You're still human. There are days where you're just not as motivated. There are days where it just gets you. Not jiu-jitsu. It could be like work kind of kick your
podcast.
ass.
Dude, Twitch streaming. Dude, there's times where I'm like, I have like 4 hours where I could stream those 4 hours, and I'm just like, I don't want
Sometimes
to.
you're just really not in the mood.
Yeah.
Like and so, but there's a difference between. That's why motivation. Like don't get me wrong. I like to post motivational things, but motivational things is overrated. You got to look for discipline.
Yes.
It's one of those things where like, listen, I don't want to like I love to cook, but I don't cook because I love it. I cook because I have the discipline. Like I need this. I need to cook this. And that's the thing where when it comes to training and when it comes to creative career, people need to stop saying like, oh, I want to do it. You need to get in the mindset of I need to do it.
Yes.
Like this I need to do. This is a job. There's not a want anymore. There's a need.
Yeah.
And it's just discipline at that point. So man, but honestly, good on you.
I appreciate that.
So like real quick, moving on, walk me through your training. So like, do you often go twice a day?
Just on Fridays because I have the day off.
Mm-hmm.
But because of my job, I work a 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever. I usually go in the afternoon. I try to stay like, so I go for the advanced class now because you know.
Nice.
And I stay from like 6 to like 9.
Nice.
Most of the time. There's just nothing I'd rather be doing. You know, because
so
what I used to do was I'd come home from work, eat, lay in bed, watch TV. My body was deteriorating.
Yeah, dude. No, like honestly, you look great, man.
Thank
you. I remember you being a big guy, but like not to a point. Like I didn't see you like after the band. But when you were in the band, you were a bit of a big kid. Like you definitely had a gut. Kid, you look great now. Like
and it's funny because I was like singing and shit, and I was like, man, how do I have the confidence? Yeah. No, I appreciate that. No, I am proud to say that I am under 200 pounds.
hey, another fist bump. Hey, congrats, man.
Yeah.
I was telling my brother he's a bit obese, and I want him to get into jiu-jitsu because it's not also because of the workout but it's also because of the community. And people don't realize that. Like, if I could give an advice to both men and women, and it's like, man, I'm just kind of lonely. Like, I don't have friends and stuff. Go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Really, any martial arts, but really jiu-jitsu because
it's a cult.
it is a cult, and like you're gonna feel.
No, you're gonna meet people.
You're gonna meet people. You're gonna feel powerful, and the number one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not in martial arts right now. You are.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, man. Sometimes, look, I've done bad things in my life, you know, and it's good to get beat up. It's good to be like, yo, I'm not a god. I'm not an untouchable being, and anybody could do this to me. But the thing too is just about like, you know, also when I started jiu-jitsu, it helped me kind of break down things how I do in jiu-jitsu. You know, like for example, like the Twitch streaming, because like. When I started jiu-jitsu, I was 22, and I was like, you know, like everybody, you know, like how we were talking, everybody's looking at stripes and like, you know, you have a card and they count your classes and everybody's looking at it. Oh, next week I'm gonna have a stripe. I never really did. You know, people would always look at my card and be like, "Oh, you're gonna get a new stripe soon." I'm like, I guess, you know, maybe I'm not gonna. Dude, my third stripe. When I got my third stripe on my white belt, my coach was like, "Where's your second stripe?" I was like, "I never got it," because I wasn't gonna ask for it. You know, like my card was filled out and like I should have gotten it, but because I never cared. Like it's just a piece of tape. So I forgot where I was going with that. But
I was saying accountability.
Yeah, right. So accountability. So people start kind of holding you accountable as your rank goes, right? And they're kind of being like, dude, you're like a 4-stripe, like this and that. You should be able to go slower. You should be able to do that too. Because a lot of people.
How many stripes? Sorry to cut you off. How many stripes before you move on to the next color?
It depends on your school. Like a lot of these.
What's the average
for a Gracie school with like the curriculum? You need like 6 to 8 months
to get a stripe.
Oh no, for a stripe you need like 20 days.
Okay.
Like at a white belt, and then at a blue belt it's like 8 months.
Yeah.
And then at a purple belt it's like a year. So like I'm not gonna get striped till like next year. Not that it matters. Because like I literally just got my purple belt, and it's funny because when you get a new color, and I've only experienced this now twice, but you just like you don't feel it like because you when you're a white belt and you meet guys who are already like 1-2 stripe blue belts, 1-2 stripe purple belts, or just like purple belts have been purple belts for like 4 months already, or like brown belts have been seasoned, and they're like, wow, you're like, that's a brown belt, that's a purple belt. But then you get yours and you're like, I'm not. I still got that 4-stripe blue belt energy in me. Like there's still a lot of holes in my game, like there's still a lot of
you're
things
almost there, man. You are so almost there.
I mean, honestly, it's just inspiring because I know guys who have trained that I didn't realize that trained before I started training who fell off, and that I've caught up to now. And then now they're coming back to our gym and they're like, yo, like, weren't you a white belt when we started? I'm like, yeah, weren't you a purple belt?
Yeah, it's called grinding.
Yeah, so
it's called
like,
not giving
what's
up.
Up, bro? Like, even during COVID, I didn't stop.
No, good.
And the thing, too, is I got lucky because I started working from home.
Yeah.
So my only commute was home, Tiger, home, jiu-jitsu, home, jiu-jitsu. So, you come home, you shower. You shower at the gym. It was very clean. So I actually didn't end up getting COVID through my whole time training.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got COVID literally right before I started school in January of 2021. Like, I haven't seen the campus yet, and I was supposed to go for orientation. And then I literally woke up, made pancakes, took a bite. I couldn't taste it. I was fine too. Like I had like a little bit of a headache. And I was just like, I took a bite, couldn't taste it. Took another, couldn't taste it. And I was like, I remember the symptoms is you can't taste anything. I went upstairs and I had the thermometer gun, and it's like said like, yeah, you're 102, you have a fever. I was like, no, this is wrong. It's like 102, you have a fever. And I was like, I think I have COVID. I skipped the orientation, went to CVS, did the test. A couple of days later, it was like, yeah, you're positive. And
I got COVID. I think it was like August 2021. Yeah, we're in 2022. I forget what day it is. Dude, no, honestly, and it's funny because this is what I tell every white belt, especially now that I've been meeting lately. I'm like, just space out and do the jiu-jitsu. If you're just like spacing out, doing your thing, then before you know it, you're like, oh, is that blue?
No, keep that. You're so right. Keep up with the grind, man. Like and like you said that you don't care about the stripes or whatever. It's just holding yourself accountable, and your team holds you accountable.
Yeah, man.
And they do want to see you with the stripes and the right color belt.
When they see you being one of those guys who likes it and grind you, even internally, like the instructions and stuff, they start holding you to another standard because they start to see that you want to be good.
Exactly.
So like even then when people like you start seeing those guys who are like coming every day and you're like, okay, that guy wants to be good. You know what? Let's give him a little extra motivation.
More
and they hold them accountable because they're like, hey man, you did good on this, but you know what?
You could be doing better.
You've been I know that you got a better guard, or I know that you got a better armbar. So why aren't you trying that? They're like pushing you to try new things, and I love that.
And and man, that, like I could do a whole podcast on that. That's one thing. I don't have the cure for the world in just about anything, but I do believe martial art is a good road, and also just an accountability culture, like holding somebody accountable. And when one of your buddies says, "I'm thinking about starting this," and be like, "All right, cool, start it," and I'm gonna hold you accountable. Yeah. Hey, where are you at with that?
Yeah, I have a friend who's my accountability buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, you training tonight? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll be there. You training tonight? He's like, no, I got work. And I'm like, yo, what's up? Where are you?
What? Yeah. Okay, you got work. Okay, but make sure you get your schedule.
But I'll see you next week, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that friend, he does have moments where, because of his job, he doesn't come, but he's never, like, dropped off, and and because of him, I also never myself have dropped off. Like,
That's good.
there's times where like I'm not gonna lie, man. I deal with a lot of depressive episodes. Like I don't want to get out of bed. Like I don't want to go train. And like he hits me up and he's like, "Hey man, like it's been like a few days. Where you been?" I'm just like, "Shit, I don't want to be like, oh man, I've been depressed."
But let me ask. But speaking of that, if like okay, so when you have your like depressive episodes, are there days where you actually do go to the gym?
Yes, yes. Those
do
days.
do you feel better afterwards?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then but were there days where you were depressed and you actually didn't go?
Yes. There's
And
been days.
did you feel better that you didn't go?
No. And I know where you're going with it, but there has been days where I have been like feeling depressed and I do go and I regret going.
Oh, really?
Because here's the thing, when you're one of the people who are very present in your gym, you're kind of like a personality there, and like people expect like this version of you that always shows up. They're always like, "Oh, hey, Mikey, like, what's up?" And I'm just like, "Oh, hey, sorry, yo, what's up, dude? Like, what, and." And then there's times where I come in and I don't say things, and they're like, "Yo, it's like Mikey mad at us or some shit." And I'm like, "No, dude, it's just I didn't really want to come, but I pushed myself to it because it's like at the end of the day, if I don't come, I'm gonna be mad at myself."
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, bro. You pay for this stuff. It's like,
That's that. Yeah.
you can't just like not go. And like I said, I get really good instruction from both my coaches. The owner's a legend, man. He's got an NFC Hall of Fame
Hell yeah.
title because he's one of the first people to bring jiu-jitsu to Georgia, not just like Atlanta, like to Georgia. He brought it like back in the 90s.
Nice.
Yeah, he actually trained under Petrosar. Dude, the Gracies call this guy, they call him Uncle Eddie. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I mean, it's really cool, and not to talk too much on that, but I just like I lucked out with the gym I landed on for sure.
Yeah.
I could have landed with.
Is that the only gym you've gone to? Have you gone to others?
I mean, I've visited other gyms and rolled with other guys, and I've competed, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
No,
I mean it's reality. It's reality,
and it sucks because I don't want to sound shitty because I can guarantee you there's good guys in every gym.
No, yeah,
there
for
is
sure.
Good guys.
For
there's
sure.
good instruction. There's motivation, but there's just one thing about their lack of detail, their lack of technique.
And see, that's the thing about like. Not every martial arts school out there is great. Not all of them are managed well, and that's not like a disrespectful knock. If anything, that's a positive knock. Like, hey, you need to get your shit in order, and it could be running better. And the gyms that are like up to like good standards, they have more pressures on their shoulder because now they're like, I have to maintain this standard. It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, you go to a lot of these guys from even in the Marietta area. Oh shit, I don't know if we should be talking about that.
Well, you said Marietta.
Yeah, I mean Marietta, the Marietta area. They're black belts from my instructor. So like, even you go to some of these gyms and they're from there. So even those I would consider better, but they're still not like as good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other week we had some dudes from Colorado come to visit our gym because just the prestige it has. They wanted to try our people, and they tried one of our purple belts. Dude, this guy. He's a purple belt, no stripes, beating up the black belts, bro, and it's just disgusting. Like the things he does are disgusting, and if we want to
ease,
with ease,
oof,
like ease, like.
Oof.
And I'm trying to catch up to this guy, so I got my work cut out for me. But I mean, at the end of the day. When it comes to the whole jiu-jitsu topic and the talk, and it's just, if you haven't tried it, try it, especially if you're a female. I recommend it, especially because, man, you see all this shit. People are way more fucked up here now, so it's like, if anybody...
It teaches men they're not as strong as they are. It teaches women they're stronger than they realize.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gracie has a women's empowerment thing that I would definitely, if you can, in your local area, look into that. For sure, because at the end of the day, assault takes place on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you want
a fight one way or another is going to go down to the ground for sure.
Yeah, a kidnapping, they're trying to drag you in the ground, so you want to be able to take that stuff. So at the end of the day, try martial arts. Even and it doesn't even have to be jiu-jitsu, because like I even now that I do jiu-jitsu and like people are like, oh, it's like the best one. Like I still want to do like karate or something.
No,
Like I want to try.
yeah,
It's
like,
just the Kool-Aid. They're
yeah,
drinking the
exactly.
Kool-Aid.
Like, so, warriors back in the day, they would study four things. They would study striking, grappling, throwing, and weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Now in modern day, they can get away without weaponry, but it's still striking, grappling, and throwing.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes you an all around a good warrior.
Yeah, well-rounded.
Yeah, the only time you ever see four is like basically in the police department, like
military.
security, military, and all that stuff. But now like weaponry is a little bit different. But that's where they kind of still focus on the four. But but you can get away with a lot with just knowing jiu-jitsu. But it kind of goes back to that quote. It's not just martial art in general. Fuck, I'm gonna butcher it. It's a jack of all trades but a master of none is still better. A jack of all trades but a master of none is still better than a master of one. And so,
oh man, that's funny, because one of my favorite quotes from Bruce Lee is, "I don't fear a man who's practiced 1,000 kicks one time, but one kick 1,000 times," which is kind of
yeah, no, because here's the thing. Like now, I believe that, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, but the thing is, he like, if we're to take that quote specifically, if that person practiced a bevy of kicks 1,000 times, then he's well-rounded warrior. And that's the whole point. But yeah, if you get in confrontation and you know this dude and he's well known for doing, 1,000 side kicks, you're gonna want to watch out for that side kick.
Yeah.
But you still want to be a jack of all trades, because it's like a Swiss Army knife. Yes, in a Swiss Army knife, there are several tools you use more often, but you're thankful that you have those tools when it comes to necessary.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like that's not to knock, like, oh, if you want to be really efficient in one art. Like, okay, first off, I love fitness. I rather somebody let's take away self-defense for a second. Let's pretend like we live in a perfect world. I care about fitness. I'd rather you go study one art and then that's it. Like, great, because it's, no matter what, it's great fitness. But at the same time, if you want, like, if you want to be a great warrior and well-rounded, start dipping your toes, because you're going to be a master of all of them over time. But like, take them on. If you're just focusing on sport, just focus on one. If you want to be a UFC fighter,
you need more.
You might want a little bit more. Just saying.
And that's why also, I never mentioned this much about my gym, but and I think that's why I brought up the whole seafood thing. Yeah. Because we do, like, I do have a year of Muay Thai.
Nice.
Like I do have, like, I can throw a roundhouse kick. Because at the end of the day, you do want to be able to manage the distance standing up, be able to reply, to break the space. And I agree. Honestly, like, I never heard your words, because we as men live in a world where you don't need to be a man anymore. We don't need to hunt. We don't need to fend off looters. We don't need to fight for the king. There's no mammoths out there. So we have to be able to channel that stuff that's been built in us through evolution from thousands of years of fighting. Yeah. Literally fighting. Like, people forget, when people see all this turmoil and stuff, people forget that we're still, like, creatures of evolution. We're still people who operate on the frontal lobe. Like, we have fight or flight responses for a reason. We're still animals. And people don't realize that through thousands of year evolutions, now you're asking men to stop being warriors, which is fine, times change.
But I think there's a different type of warrior,
right?
Like,
but we don't, like, we're not fucking 17 with spears going out fighting the Mongols. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that, like, we're not the, like, survivalist type of warrior anymore. Where it's like it was needed to survive. Now you can be on Discord all day.
Life has gotten way more comfortable.
Games. Right. Yeah. Life is way more comfortable. So it's good when you learn martial arts too. It gives you that sense of having that back and understanding the whole great power, great responsibility. Because the thing about men is that we have, like, all this, like, stuff from before this evolution that, like, as boys we know it, like, we want to fight, we're angry, we this and that. and through martial arts it clears it up.
It gives you a healthy channel, a healthy
Exactly.
avenue for you to
Exactly.
express those. Because you're right. Like as men, like we don't have to. There was a time where it was needed
Hmm.
for men to do that. Like you didn't have a choice. Oh, I just wanted to be a painter. No, you have to be a painter and a warrior.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you can get away with just being a painter. But yes, you're right that there's still you can't get away with it.
Yeah,
Some
there's still that
men
need
have
of
it more than
evolution.
others.
There's still that need of like, dude, like we can't just stop thousands of years that of breeding, if
Yeah.
to put it in a crass way, that to breed us to be the best like warriors, more intelligent, like this and this and that, and now we, like, because there's a stuff because of the societal change. That's fine, and through evolution, that's gonna adapt. But
Yeah.
like when it comes to the sudden stuff right now, those are the things that will help heal the society better, because that's why there's people going around shooting schools.
Yeah.
They feel emasculated, but they don't even know it,
Yeah.
because again, it comes through this instinct. Like we do things on instinct, man. There's times where like I'm walking down the street or something, and I feel like the hair in my like the back of my neck stand up. There's somebody walking behind me, and it's not a threat or anything, but immediately you can feel that.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can't really like explain,
you
or maybe
can't.
like science can, whatever. But there's still something that we have, that because through years, like, we were hunted,
Mm-hmm.
and the brain, the evolution, the DNA doesn't just forget that.
Yeah, and I just think I really do think it's just healthy to like now like I want to take it with hunting. I'm not a hunter. I want to try it one day, but I do believe that every I think of I think of a house cat. I'm sorry, like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mind's
yeah.
like I think of a house cat.
Yeah.
Like a house cat, yeah, it's domesticated and all that stuff. It sleeps all day, but if you get it toys where and they like pounce at
Yeah,
it,
it's a
they
killing
attack it,
machine.
they still have that instinct. And I think about it like a person. Like if you give us a healthy avenue, we'll express it, and I think it's great to give us that healthy avenue. And I think martial art is great, but for both men and women, where it gives you a healthy avenue. Like I would hear some mothers go like, "Oh, what about injuries? Oh, I don't want especially my son to be
We're
all
not baking
violent
cookies,
and
man.
all that stuff."
We're not
And it's
baking
like,
cookies.
it's what was that?
We're not baking cookies. We're learning how to fight.
We're learning how to fight, but in a healthy way.
Yeah,
And then
I mean, I've never been injured.
yeah,
The most thing I've gotten done to me is I broke my toe, and that wasn't even through like somebody like messing with my foot. It got caught in their gi, and I went for a sweep, and I swept the fuck out of them.
oof.
But it cost me my toe.
Yeah.
But and that's why I also love jiu-jitsu, is because like it translates, and everybody always says this, translates to the gentle art, because you should be able to do it in a flowy way to where you can train. Like
I've seen people do it blindfold. Like
I roll with my eyes closed.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's how you're getting better at it. It's because it's supposed to be you're supposed to be learning how to be calm under a stressful situation. Like having somebody's arm around your neck, and you got to be calm because they want you to flail because you're exerting more energy, and they're just tightening up that grip.
Yeah, but there's this other thing when jiu-jitsu practitioners do, that they try to do it as light as they can.
Yeah.
So instead of going for straight submissions all the time, the name of the game is just like try to get to another position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're rolling, and it looks like we're rolling, but it's so gentle.
Yeah.
We literally call it flowing, because you're just like blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm here. Okay, get out of that. Oh, blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm here. Get out of that. Oh, and I love it. And that's also what keeps you injury free. That's why if you want to be, because I've seen guys who do Muay Thai and they kick something and their leg just shatters and stuff. Where like people get punched in ways. Man, I was one time at this one gym, and I was there to roll, and we were waiting for like the jiu-jitsu class to start, and then we're doing a Muay Thai class, and then we're doing sparring. This kid got like punched in the chin, started shaking, scared the fuck out of me. And that was when I was like an early white belt, and like I told you, like I'm a bitch. Like this was before I seen like my fair share of things. So, like that, I wouldn't want that, on anyone.
Yeah.
Especially so the fact when you can, because it's like this, man. You punch someone in the face, you can damage their brain.
You can.
You can fuck them up. If I choke you out into the point to where you're asleep, and you're just
fine.
asleep,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, if I held on to that, you might have a stroke, you might die.
Yeah.
But if just to the point where it's like, okay, he's snoring, like he's there, and I'm just gonna control the situation, you're gonna be fine. You know, when you're on mount, they don't teach us to punch, man. You got to slap the guy, slap the guy, because if you punch him, hits the pavement, manslaughter. That's a charge right there.
Yeah.
And then you're the one claiming self-defense.
Yeah.
So it's just really good to understand that through grappling there's just more control.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of the strikers, especially the good strikers, man, those guys, once they see red and they have an opening, it's like gunshots. Pop, 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 pop. They don't know when to stop. And then you're like in the ground shaking.
Yeah.
And they end up even hurting themselves, man, because they like break their hands punching you.
Yeah. No, people don't think about that. Like, yeah, there's an ugly side to martial arts, but jiu-jitsu, you're 100% right. It is more control.
I'm just saying grappling in general.
Grappling in general,
because I don't want to come in here and also be like, because I love that you said about the well-rounded, because I agree. You know, one of my friends who trains, he also does like these camps where they go do survival stuff like over the weekend in the woods, and he has to learn to like make a fire without matches, and like, you know, they're like training in guns and stuff. So it's like militia training, and it's like really cool stuff. And it's like, man, I would like to do that. Yeah. Eventually, maybe not now. Maybe when I have a little more time. But
I definitely kind of want to do stuff like that. I've been wanting to go hunting. Like I want to get, like, I'm an outdoorsy guy, but I'm not a camping guy. And I was watching a lot of videos where if you want people who go hunting, there are moments where, you know, you don't just go outside and be like, oh, I'm gonna bag a deer. Sometimes you come home and you didn't get a thing. But you got to be willing, if you to increase your chances, you got to be willing to camp. And camping's uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable outside in the rain, in the cold, in the mud. And a part of me, like when I was younger, that didn't attract me. But now that I'm older and I care about a little bit of toughness, I'm like, yeah,
you should do it.
I want to do it. Yeah.
I love camping. I don't go much. I have been like a couple of times because my brother's super outdoor. He goes camping like every year.
Like I love hiking. I love kayaking. And all that. But the idea of camping, I don't know. I just never liked it when I was younger. But now as I got older, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want to do it.
Dude,
I feel like a challenge.
Do it, man. Because here's the thing. And this is what I tell my friends now whenever we do anything that we're iffy about. At the end of the day, even if it's bad, we have a story out of it.
Yeah. You know? Oh, man, I love that.
Imagine next episode, next guest you have, you're like, bro, check out this time I went camping and it was totally ass.
Oh, my God. I really love that. I'm not just saying
that.
Yeah,
no, it's a story because, man, that Halloween party, my friend did not want to go. And I was like, bro, come on, let's go. We haven't done anything on Halloween.
You have a
I got the
story.
Joker outfit. Like, let's do it. And he was like, and then he was like still iffy, and I was like, dude, we'll have a story. And he was like, all right, let's go, let's do it. And then we have a story.
You have a story. You have an awesome story. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and that's not even like the best part of that night. You know, like we actually ended up like going to like do some spooky shit, and like the dancing was just like it just picked up after that. So it was like a really good party at the end of the day.
That's awesome.
So we had a good story. You know,
that's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that. So changing up the subject, man. So, besides jiu-jitsu, and you're a badass at it.
Oh no, I'm gonna please say, don't paint me like that. I'm gonna paint you like that. Because like even then, dude, like, bro, there's just these guys that are just so much better.
I'm just gonna get people to look at you and be like, all right, I can take him on. He's a purple belt.
Dude,
all right.
People
and
are
gonna be like,
bro,
oh, damn it, DJ.
Get challenge matches, and I'm just gonna be like, bro, like, no, you're like, oh no, I'll tap.
No, man. But like, I'm gonna sing your praise. That's awesome, man. Like, I just.
Dude, I know you're training some stuff too. You said you do taekwondo and other stuff. So like, I know you're a badass yourself.
I haven't done it in a long time. I'm definitely dull. My blade's dull, but I will get back into it.
Hey man, fight or flight, you'll be like.
But you're more sharper than me. Like I can't. I do want to get into jiu-jitsu. When I graduate and work a 9 to 5, because right now I work nights and I just can't.
Yeah.
But man, once I graduate, that's one of the few things, the first things I'm gonna sign up.
Bro, and have you ever like want to just mess around and stuff,
Oh.
I'm always there.
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
I'm always
This
there.
is not gonna be the last time you're ever gonna see me and be on the podcast.
Oh,
Like, but like switching up the topic for a second. Let's talk about Twitch for.
oh,
let's talk-
man, I feel like we've been talking for hours.
We've been talking for like an hour and 18 minutes.
And we're not even like on all the topics. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, dude, no, don't be like this. This is great because I said I wanted you to talk my ear off of the martial art because I loved it. I love.
And that's not even all of it.
Exactly, but like I loved you. You shared a great origin story where you were down and you were painting this really really vivid picture, but it was a necessary picture. It's a real gritty picture, and then you got into a jiu-jitsu, and then like over a silly thing because there are people who think like,
oh, I still get it. And not to like interrupt you, but
No, you're
like
good.
at the end of the day, I will say that jiu-jitsu saved my life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. But what I was like, all the more reasons to sing the praises. But what I was gonna say is that, like, there you realistically, like, you just admitted it, and which is great. Like you were saying, like, do you still get to wear a gi? You watch Cobra Kai, something super silly. I know people out there that they're kind of waiting for a sign from God or something super significant for them to be like, okay, this is why I joined martial arts. They want to find like this like really profound thinking. I'm like, no, dude, this guy, my friend Mike over here, joined because he wanted to wear a gi and he watched Cobra Kai, and now he benefited. You were overweight, now you're under 200, you're very skilled, and now you're more confident. Yeah, you still have your down days, but you're in a better spot than you were 4 years ago.
And I appreciate that. And the other thing, when it comes to that is that like that bigger picture comes after, because like now I'm definitely more of like a philosopher about it. Like now, like when people join jiu-jitsu, I'm like, yo, like, like I give them like this whole like wax on, wax off kind of spiel even,
Nice.
like I went all Mr. Miyagi on it because like at the end of the day, that's also what I admired from movies like that. Just how like Daniel was able to be this kid getting bullied to somebody who got the girl, you know? And maybe that's a little materialistic and old school to see about it, but it's not even just that, dude. Like now, like I feel like I also rock climb. Because
yeah, you did mention that in the beginning.
So I do rock climb, and like it was great to see how jiu-jitsu translates to that because it's like the hip
with
movement,
the grips,
and the grips. So now I even feel comfortable because of jiu-jitsu that if I'm in a situation like, Red Dawn, the Wolverines, and I have to climb a wall, like scale something, I can do it. Barefoot in my Converse, I can do it because I understand now the pressures and the grips. And if it weren't from jiu-jitsu, I would have never pushed myself to go to rock climb because I'm terrified of heights.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely terrified. I've climbed 70-foot walls, but terrified of heights. Like I've climbed outside like 20-30-foot walls.
Have you ever gone skydiving?
I know.
We're gonna go skydiving.
No,
dude, it's the best fucking
No, that's
feeling.
that's my line, dude, because there's no rope there. There's like just thinking about it, man.
Oh man, bro, we're gonna go skydiving. One day, if I'm rolling in money, I'm gonna pay for it. And
dude, if it's for the show, I'll do it. I'll tell you this right now. If it's either for my Twitch or for the show, I'll do it.
Oh man, then done. We're gonna do it because it's on my YouTube page. Like, DJ Go Skydiving.
I'm just saying, my god! Like, how about this? If you get, I'll say this right now on camera, 500K, I'll do it. 500K subs, I'll do it.
Subs? Damn. All right, one day.
No, that's the goal. That's the goal.
That's a goal. That's a goal. All right, cool.
Honestly, I got a TikTok that I posted on Instagram. This is all I did.
Yeah.
It was me, my homie. That's all I did. 3.6 likes. K.
3.6.
3.6K likes.
Nice. Yeah.
Like this will get it, man.
Dude,
and this is definitely better than just me.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that. You think I'm gonna forget? It's definitely gonna be a while.
Right,
I'm not gonna get 500K.
I'm not a guy.
I'm not gonna get 500K overnight, but one day
dude,
I will get it, and then I'm gonna hit you up. You think I'm gonna forget? I'm gonna hit you up. Yo, Mike, I hit 500K subs. When are we going skydiving? I got it. I paid for it and everything.
Dude, we'll blog it. Like we'll make.
Hell yeah, we'll make a day of it.
We'll make a whole fucking like content out of it. Man.
Yeah.
Because like I would by then too. Like I don't know where I'm gonna be with Twitch and stuff. Because Right now I'm taking a little bit of hiatus because of the holidays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just focus more on a little bit of training. And like I said, I have some music projects that I do want to talk about eventually that are a little bit on the hush hush for now.
Okay, cool. Well, whenever you're comfortable with it,
I can talk like the bases right now.
Do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, if that's what we want to go into.
Yeah,
right
well,
now,
I was going to get into Twitch, but if you want to talk about,
I mean, we'll talk both. What do you want to go for? Like we can definitely talk the music stuff at the end because that's a little less.
Well,
detailed.
we got like 20 minutes left.
Whatever you want, brother. Whatever you want.
Let's talk about Twitch for a second.
Okay. Okay.
And then we'll end the show because since you want to keep it hush hush, we'll save it.
I mean, it's not too hush hush. I just want to be able to, when I announce like the actual name of the project, to have like content for it.
No, 100%.
So right now, since I don't have it, like it's mostly like in the idea room.
Yeah.
I don't want to make an announcement.
And I'm not gonna push you. No,
that's cool. But like definitely, I can talk about like the ideas. You know, like
for sure. So let's talk about Twitch for a second. So, what got you into Twitch? I know it's a silly thing, but what got you into it?
Twitch. Okay.
Because Twitch is honestly fairly new.
Twitch is actually older than you think.
Really?
Yeah, which is funny.
Let me guess. 2017.
Nah, dude. Twitch has been around since like 2014 at least.
What? At least. I think I started noticing around 2017.
Well, it's because it was really a small platform, you know, and honestly now it's getting its heyday because of all the pandemic streamers.
Yeah,
you know, like literally everybody streams now.
Yeah, and
it's the good thing about streaming, you know, especially on Twitch. Well, not especially on Twitch, but just like live streaming games like that is just you can go at it solo, you know. So the way I got into Twitch streaming was, man, so when I was a kid, when I was around 11 or 12, I made my YouTube channel and I made like YouTube videos and little animations, and I wanted to be a YouTuber, and that never took off. My family was always kind of like, that's never gonna be a thing, which is ironic because now you can literally make YouTube a job. But so like that, I always kind of had that wanting to have an online presence, and entertain, make content, because I don't know, man, I just always felt like I was the guy to be in front of the camera, I guess. I don't know. So that was going on for a while. And, you know, being in a band, I've always been an entertainer and I loved it. So when the pandemic hit, me and my friend Thomas, the guy who got me into jiu-jitsu, we were like, hey, we're foreigners. And as foreigners living in this country, it would be interesting to see how people who are foreign still view the division, the pandemic, Trump, all that. And so we were like, all right, let's call it the foreign exchange because we're exchanging foreign
awesome
ideas, you know, like, so we called it the foreign exchange, and we did like 20-30 episodes. I think it was closer to like 22. And so I loved it. I loved doing the podcast, man. It was fun. It got annoying because at one point you just can't avoid like everyday like topics and politics, which I hate because when it comes to discussing politics, and I'm not gonna get too political because my politics is I believe in no politics. That's it. It's not anarchy. It's not anything. Just if you believe that somebody who is like in your neighborhood one day and then they run for city council and then later they're like, oh, I'm a congressman. You know, I don't see the qualifications in that.
I feel you. I'll quickly say for me is I have my values. Like I don't think of politics. I just think of values and stuff. And then what happens is like I start paying attention to people speaking, and then right there, like I don't care about what letters on next to your name. I see what value you stand for, and then I'm like, I think of it like a sports team. I'm like, I don't want to join your team because your values don't line up with mine.
Well, I mean, the thing coming from Mexico, man, is an understanding like in Mexico, all governments corrupt. And then you come here and then they do a better way of playing that they're not, but they are. And so it's understanding that at the end of the day, Biden and Trump or whoever it was before, Obama and Romney, at the end of the day after the debates, they both went to the back and had cigars together and we're like, you see how those idiots are gonna be fucking like scrambling in the polls now? Yeah. That's an understanding that's the real deal. But you know, so I always had wanted to be an online presence. I used, you know, so after the podcast, I still had all this gear. I had my mic, you know, and I had a gaming laptop that I was using to record, and I have a Nintendo Switch, which is awesome. So for my 25th birthday, I believe, I got a capture card, and I used the webcam on my computer. Was it my 25th? Yeah. Yeah, it was my 25th birthday. And that's when I got my capture card, and just, you know, the Switch, because I have limited desk space. The Switch is perfect because it's right there. And the good thing about when you're streaming from a computer and a console is that because you're not using like the computer to run the game to it, it's not as like hard on it. So it's the streaming is smoother, right? So I had that set up, and I was just streaming games that I like, man. I was streaming Skyrim. I was streaming this Naruto game. I was doing retro game nights on Thursdays, where, you know, the Nintendo Switch has the old games, and I got even the old like NES, SNES controller and all that.
Yeah.
And I was actually running a community for a while, like a
Nice.
streamer community, with like over 100 something streamers.
Nice.
And I had to give that up recently just because it's hard. Right?
Yeah.
You gotta have time to run it, and like if you're the leader and you don't have a presence, you know, like shit just gets unstable. So I gave it to somebody who had more time. But yeah, man, like it was honestly, Twitch streaming is just like, when I got into it, was just very like, I don't want anything from it. I just want to be able to kind of have my podcast, and I guess it's going to be like a one-man podcast, and there's just like a game in the background, and people are just going to come chat me up. And through those communities, I met a lot of good people, man, really good people, really entertaining streamers too, and people that I collaborate with. So like there's this one streamer, her name's Navi If you ever want to check her out, Navi on Twitch. She's from Australia, and she's my friend, and like we used to do retro game nights a lot. So like,
Nice.
you know, we have like videos on TikTok of us, like both of us like playing games, and I'm like, yo, like little silly clips. So Twitch is honestly awesome. I never thought it would go as far as it is.
Yeah.
And as far as it's going, because I'm still under our 200 subs,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not even about like,
It's not about the
it's not even about the following. It's just the people who are watching you, though. Like eventually, like it's about becoming like they know you. You know, later there's like, it's like when you like people who grew up watching Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
You know, he was more than just like a guy on the TV. He was Mr. Rogers. He was like Uncle Rogers. Like,
Yeah.
you invited him into your, like Bob Ross would always say, "Thank you for inviting me into your house," type shit. So every time anybody would come to my stream, I'd be like, "Yo, guys, thank you for coming to my stream. You could literally be anywhere in the world, and you're choosing to spend your time here." That's
honestly how I feel about the podcast.
Yeah.
Like right now, I don't know who could be what. Your episode could be the one that blows me up and all that stuff. Like, shut up. But it could be. But like, I don't treat it that way. Like, because like, let me tell you my process right now. After we wrap here, tomorrow, like I'll go ahead and begin the editing process little by little, and then once I'm done and upload once I'm done and it's loading, like it's rendering, that's when I go ahead and hit up the next person and see when we can collab and sit down and do another episode. And then I have it scheduled to upload on a day once it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Once it's uploaded, I promote it, and then that's it. I move on to the next guest and stuff. And if your episode blows up, awesome. But I'm not even thinking about the numbers. I don't worry about that. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, whatever, I'm moving on to the next guest. And then like I don't think of numbers, I think of quality. I'm just trying to have people on the show, and then have a couple of episodes where if somebody's shy, I'd be like, "Hey, watch my episodes." I try to do my best to make my guests feel comfortable.
You do a great job, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was gonna ask you, are
like
you
the drinks, the fact that you even have like, because everybody always likes to be like, "Yo, you need a drink." It's like, yeah, but the water. The water.
I have it all.
That's what I was like. This guy's professional. I like it.
I appreciate that, man. No, I've learned little by little. Like I was watching YouTube videos of how to be a good host before the podcast. Way before the podcast, when I would just throw parties, I always try to be a good host.
Yeah,
I always try to provide everything for what could possibly happen. And then it just translated that to the podcast. Like I have tissues right here in case we start crying like little bitches and stuff. But like I try to. If
we had, dude, if you ever want to do like one, dude, I'm gonna be real with you. I want to do a live one with you. I want to do a live one with you, and I'm gonna help you set that up because you could use like streaming. If you
can help me out, I'm not gonna say no. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, 100%. Like I can help you set that up. We're gonna do a live one, and we're gonna do like 5 hours.
Dude,
and it's gonna be like a drinking binge, and we're gonna call Steven, we're gonna call all those guys, and we're gonna get effed up, and we're gonna talk about the band. We're gonna talk, yeah, dude. We're gonna talk. We're gonna like you want.
We're gonna bring up that story.
Dude, we're gonna, dude. Steven's gonna yell at me.
Dude, we're gonna hash it out, and then we're gonna be like, "I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro."
And honestly, actually, you know, going back, there was a Canvas reunion last year.
There was a Canvas what
reunion
last year?
Yeah, we didn't play, but we got together and we jammed out some stuff. And I have
where the fuck was I?
You were, I don't know, man. But we were at Sam's house, and I have some demos.
I'm pissed off right now, but we'll move on.
Like new Canvas shit that it's just jams, but yeah, dude, and it's great because after all those years, we got together last year, and we were still like playing the same songs, and like
that's so cool. Yeah. That brings a smile to my face, man.
Dude, honestly, it brings a smile to my face every time I think. Because the thing about that band that I hate that I never had with anybody else is just the connection, the energy. Like, dude, like Steven played something, Eric would play something, I could add something to it, Sam would fill it in with the drums and then the lyrics, and like I never had that with anybody else, with any other band, with any other group of people. Like the collaboration, that like it's like a conversation like with those guys when we played music, because we were, dude, and it's funny because like other bands would be like, how often you guys practice? We were like twice a week, like for like 3-4 hours. They'd be like, dude, we practice like once a month. We'd be like, what, dude? Like we would be jamming for hours. Dude, there'd be times where we wouldn't write a song, but we would just be jamming.
Yeah.
And we'd be tired and shit, and it'd still be like we had a successful, like,
hell yeah,
like jam. So yeah, man, I have some little recordings from that I can show you after we wrap. But yeah, man, for sure, I want to do one on Twitch, man. I want to have you.
Yeah, no, for sure. My answer is always yes. One day we'll sit down and like we'll go over the technical stuff.
Even then here, I would like if you ever just hop on your Switch and you have like Discord audio, that's collab right there, man.
Absolutely. So what are some of your like it could be Twitch, it could not be Twitch. What are some of your favorite games?
Dude, okay. Overall, like all time, you have a lot of them back there, actually, dude. Ocarina of Time.
I'm a huge Zelda dude.
I'm a huge Zelda fan, dude. What's
your favorite Zelda?
My favorite Zelda?
Yeah.
Majora's Mask. That's it.
Love you.
Yeah.
Love you.
It's just the most unique.
Dude.
It's just the most unique.
Like,
it's frustrating.
Long story short, that is the first Zelda game I've beat without a guidebook. 2 years, 2 and change, 100%. Found every heart piece, found every item, everything. And then, like I played that game because as a kid I didn't have a job. My parents didn't really buy me games. That's all I had, so I would constantly play it. I checked every nook and cranny. Then one day, I saw a guidebook, bought it, and I was like, there has to be something I'm missing. It was like one of the greatest feelings. I was like, I got literally everything.
Damn.
Like it felt so
then
great.
You didn't even have to see it. That's awesome.
I was just like, no secrets, nothing. I discovered everything, but I played the shit out of it for like 2 years.
Yeah, no. Any Zelda game, anything with a protagonist as a kid I liked, because when you're a kid, you see all these other protagonists who are adults, and like kids can't really do anything. So it was just always really nice seeing Link being the savior when he's literally like a 10-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah.
Because at least in the first game, like he doesn't grow up like in Ocarina of Time, and in Majora's Mask he doesn't grow up either.
Well, Ocarina of Time he grows up to be a teenager.
No, I'm talking about Majora's Mask.
Oh, Majora's Mask.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like in Majora's Mask, he stays a kid and he saves the world as a kid.
Yeah,
and that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Zelda's up there, man. I'm a huge fan of early like NES games, like Mario 3.
Oh wow.
Mario 3 is just incredible, man. Super Mario World's amazing, dude.
Super Mario World,
and those are games I played to this day. And I played those games like on the Game Boy Advance as a kid because I didn't have an NES back then. But like before at Walmart, you could get them for like $25. Like, old games.
Yeah.
For your SP.
Go to GameStop and they would have like the retro games like in the glass thing. And
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you want these?
Yeah. So it was like I played those games, man. Like platformers have just always been my.
I love platformers.
Man. Platformers. Once I got older, like And you know, when you're a teenager, like Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2, like 2008,
Yeah.
2009, that was just that was peak gaming. That was peak multiplayer gaming. Aside from the racism and all this shit, man, it was peak gaming, man. I would stay up till 3 a.m. on a school night, fucking trying to get my prestige up, brother. Like there was nothing.
I was the minority in that camp. I never cared about prestige.
No, okay, so I never cared until you realize like what comes like after when you like get deep into the game. But I was late to care about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then I remember when I first got it, this one kid was like, "Oh, what prestige are you?" I was like, "I don't know. I just got the game."
Yeah, like I remember hating prestige because it was you prestige and you lost all your equipment and you had to start back. And I said, what's the point? I just want all my attachments, so I never prestige after that. I prestige once and then I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
what prestige are you? I was like, I only prestige once and I'm sticking to it. I'm not losing my shit again.
Yeah,
Screw
dude.
that.
Because I prestige like 4 times maybe because like the whole challenge was like, oh, you lose your shit, you can get it again type. But like then that's exactly what happened to him. I was like, why am I losing my shit?
Yeah,
like I don't want to do that.
I don't
want to
do it. Just for a little symbol. I was like, I don't care.
No, but honestly, the Twitch, man, Twitch and all the gaming I've done, it's honestly.
What's some of your favorite that you Twitch on that you like to play?
Oh, have you ever played Stray?
Stray, my roommate, one of my best friends, he has that. I've seen some gameplay. I haven't seen him play it, but
definitely one of my favorite games to stream. I also love streaming Fortnite lately, just because like a lot of funny shit happens with Fortnite, man. I have this one clip where like I'm in 3rd place, I'm about to win, and I'm just like doing this like Grease Lightning quote where I'm like, oh, it could be Diomatic, and then pow, like a gunshot comes through, and I'm just like, you know, like some of the dude. At one time, I actually like it was Halloween or like October, and I was like, oh guys, trick or treat, and everybody was like, oh, trick, and I was like, ha, treat, and I pulled out a Snickers, and I'm like reviewing it. I'm like, yeah, when you bite into the soft bedding of chocolate and you really sink your teeth and you feel the what I would believe are peanuts, you know,
just like reviewing.
Yeah, and I'm just Snickers. Like, and it's just exquisite, you know. And I'm just like, like I'm chewing it on stream, and that was one of my better moments. But
that's funny.
The cool thing about streaming too is just like you make a lot of good friends, man. You meet a lot of good people. And it's always nice to meet good people who had it rough, man. You get to know these people and you're like, damn, you had it rough and you're still like doing all this and you still have this stream. Like, that's awesome, you know. But Stray's awesome to stream. Any retro games awesome to stream. They're not as popular.
What?
They're not as popular.
Oh, okay.
But like they're still really fun to stream, you know. And then
I think it's important for you to stream games that you like and you find fun, because if you get into it, I feel like your following will get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too is that like I have a bad habit of falling asleep on stream.
Do you really?
Yeah. So I'm playing a game and I'm like, yeah, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm just like, when I start, dude, there's streams where I'm just like, and I pass out for like 10 seconds. I'm like, all right, guys, no, we're gonna call it. That's
so funny.
Yeah, I fall. So if I'm not into the game, I'm falling asleep. So that's also why I've been trying to take a little bit of a hiatus lately, so I can build up a better library. Because I mostly stream off my Switch.
Yeah.
Which I prefer.
How is it like? Is the visual quality good? Or does it look like you're recording a screen through another screen?
No, it's beautiful. It's like it's like it's like if you're screen capturing. Like yeah.
You and I might. I have been curious about it, but one of the reasons why I never pulled the trigger is because I'm not tech savvy. I'm not gonna lie. One day, I'm not saying like, oh, I want to like do heavy on it, but I would like to try it.
A lot of podcasts stream on Twitch.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and like that's what I was saying. Like, dude, if you get the live thing going, because the thing is that you could stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like at the same hour, you know, through these programs, and it's honestly simpler. Man, there's these podcasts that are like on YouTube, on Twitch, on like Facebook, all at the same time. Getting all audiences from all these times, and I think people are starting to like the whole, like, oh, be there at 10, We're live at 10. Because, you know, it's funny because TV used to be the fireplace. TV
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and radio. And they'd be like, oh, this show's at 10. And it would gather the family and the family. And now we don't have that because streaming, you can watch whatever you want at any time.
yeah.
And through podcasts, they're getting that back
A little,
and
yeah,
and also that personality that
yeah.
you know because it's like now it's that real person. It's not just like actors and you're watching, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer took some pictures, you know. you're you're actually interacting with someone, because here's the thing too, when you're doing your podcast live, you're gonna have the chat up and people are gonna be like, who the fuck is that guy talking about a purple? But you're gonna be like, hey guys, chill please.
You definitely piqued my curiosity. I definitely want to do that. So real quick, Mike, we're coming up to the end of the show. I know, man, but hey, listen,
Great show.
Oh,
No, I was saying your show in general, great show.
Oh man, you give me too much praise. Thank you, but you've been a great guest. So real quick before you leave, I have one last question, and then after that, like, I want you to drop your handle one more time, and then definitely, like, this isn't the last time you're gonna be on the show.
Man,
like,
I appreciate that.
Man, feel free to hit me up and be like, hey, let's get on the show and talk about this. I'd be like, all right, cool, let's make a schedule. So real quick, one thing, like, my show doesn't really have a theme, but I kind of like this idea, especially for first time guests. Like, what advice would you like to leave the world, especially now that you're like a philosopher, but also you've gone from, you know, dark and light with jiu-jitsu and Twitch. So what, it could be of anything. It doesn't have to be with jiu-jitsu. It could be about Twitch. It could be about just in general. What advice, if a bunch of people were listening and watching, what advice would you like to leave the world?
Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
It's all a ride. And at the end of the day, it's shitty enough already. If you can feel good, feel it. Just don't hurt anyone. And if you can help other people feel good without hurting them as well, go for it. I believe that at the end of the day, we just gotta realize that we are all the universe experiencing itself through different eyes. And at the end of the day, what we see as God and the universe is when we all finally decide to come as one and understand that we are one. And that's it. I mean, honestly, as far as advice, man, I'm not somebody you should ask for it.
What if someone comes up to you and is like, hey, what advice would you give for jiu-jitsu? Like, I've never done martial arts or anything. What advice would you have?
Just keep doing it. Space out, do the jiu-jitsu. It'll pay off as long as you're determined and you're good to it. Like anything, you gotta love it back, and it will love you back.
I couldn't put it any better. Advice for Twitch.
Advice for Twitch, just start.
Start.
Don't worry about your equipment. If you're funny or if you're just somebody who likes to talk and meet people, eventually don't get discouraged. Just keep streaming. There's times where you're going to get 0 views. There's times where you're going to get 10. There was one time where I got like 20 something people watching me, which is for somebody who has less than 200 people. That's like people that have 1K followers, like numbers. So I was actually like, it was awesome. So don't give up. Like that, when it comes to streaming, martial arts, anything creative you want to do, is just about doing it. And
just
you can always put on all these million excuses of being like, oh, I need this, I need the paints, I need that. Bro, what I always tell everyone, Pelé learned how to play soccer with coconuts. May it not be true or not, that's the story we heard as kids in Mexico. He didn't even have a ball, and he became the world's best.
Nice.
That's all. You don't need a ball. You can start with a coconut.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. Honestly, I haven't done my podcast in months. It was such an honor to have you, man. I wish we could go on longer, that just makes me look forward to having you back. I definitely want to collab for sure, like be on your show 100%. My answer is yes. We'll just have to set a date. Mike, thank you so much, man. Like, hope you enjoyed it.
Dude,
really.
It was awesome, and I just want to say again, I know I said my last words, but dude,
no, yeah,
you rock. I thank you so much for having me. Honestly, like I kept telling everybody at my gym how excited I was coming to do my friend's podcast because it's like a legit podcast.
Hey, I really appreciate that.
You know, and like because I do have like they know about my presence online and stuff. Like I hope to be able to help promote your podcast as well, man. And honestly, like you're a great host. You're a hell of a fucking guy, and like I just loved it, man. It's been an experience.
Oh man, dude, that's gonna be great. And like I said, you're gonna come back on. This is not gonna be the last time. I haven't seen you in years, so it was
literally
it was really great to reconnect. Like, you're a really good friend. And dude, honestly, like I had a blast. Like,
Dude, yeah, me too. And honestly, you know, it sucks that we can't keep going because there's more.
I know, man, dude. Trust me. It's only because of my minor equipment. Trust me. Later down the road, that's the thing. You have to get started. When you get started, I know my limit, and then that motivates me to like keep grinding at school and work, get a better job, and now I can fund the better equipment that I can go longer. But at least I got started, and I know. And if I'm glad I didn't start with better equipment, because I would have been trash.
And you appreciate it more.
You do appreciate it more. But yeah, man, like let's get out of here because
Yeah,
I want to hang out for a little bit. But
Yeah.
man, thank you so much, everybody watching and listening. Thank you guys so much. I'm back. Sorry, it's been a minute.
Should I drop the handles?
Yes.
real
Oh my
quick?
god,
Sorry, no.
I totally forgot. You said I'm a good host. I'm a bad host.
No, you're a great host.
Mike, where can people follow you?
Guys, if you guys could follow me on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, I am under there as Mike Perchik. On Instagram, I am Mike Perchik Plays. But you can find me there. You feel free to follow me if you want. Feel free to, drop.
No, you have to follow him. No, you have to follow him. If you just watch this, you have to follow him.
Okay. Well,
the link is going to be in the description. All you have to do is just click, subscribe. They're done.
Well, listen to your overlord and follow me. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me, I would appreciate it, man. I post a lot of funny content, or at least I try to. I also talk martial arts, and if you guys ever catch me live on Twitch, feel free to drop by, say hi. You can hear me say something deranged or something. I've been very censored here, but if you come to my show, I promise there's a lot more F-bombs and deranged thoughts going around. So
that's why my show's uncensored, because you got to be real, you got to be authentic.
Yeah, but first impressions, right?
First impression. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Peace.